So to begin the midterm, you need to be in your Google Drive, and then you're going to open up a new Google Drawings. And you can label it you'd like. I'm just going to call this midterm example. All right, so the first thing you need to do is you need to create your horizon line. So you're going to go here and you're going to click on the line tool. And this is your drawing space. So you just want to kind of eyeball it. You can just do half. You want it to be around halfway, the halfway mark. And it has a blue highlight around it, and I want to get rid of that. So I'm going to click on the select tool and then click into the space. All right, so now you're left with your horizon line. I'm not worried about anything that kind of sticks off the edge because that won't show up when I download this. If you want to get it more precise, you are welcome to do that. The next thing you need to do is to make your vanishing points. So I'm going to use the shape tool for that. So I'm going to insert a shape, use the circle, get my indicator right on my horizon line, draw a small circle. And when you move the shape, if it's highlighted in red, you know that's the halfway mark. So I'm going to move that until it's highlighted. So I know it's halfway. And then I'm just going to copy it to make another one and then paste. And I can just move this here. It's highlighted. It's in line with my other vanishing point. So I'm good to go. I'm just going to move this out a little bit. You want these to be close to the edge as you can. If you want to make your drawing space bigger, you can move this corner out and it will expand your drawing space. I think my line's a little crooked, so I'm just going to move that a tiny bit. All right, so now you're going to start to draw your shapes. So contrary to kind of what you would think you would do, that you would insert shapes, you're actually going to draw the shapes using the polyline tool. So you go to the select line drop-down menu. You're going to click on polyline, and I'm going to start with my first shape, crossing the horizon. So I'll just have that straight. And you can kind of see your line. If the blue line starts to straighten out, you know that you're perfectly vertical. If you see it kind of like broken up like that, then you're a little bit off. So try to get it as straight as you can. It'll make your life easier, right? And then you're going to click on it. Oops. Back. Right, so I'm going to click. I'm going to hold, click, and then I'm going to aim to the point on the right. Right, so just eyeball it. You don't have to use a ruler for this because you're doing it on your screen. So just kind of like generally going to that point, click, go up, try to make that as straight as you can. All right, and then this line here should be aiming to the point on the right too. And if you see how my corners are going to line up, because I have the cross joining that first line I created, and then I click on that, and now I've made an enclosed shape. All right, and now I'm going to do the other side. So I'm aiming to the point on the left. So down, click, straight. And now I need to finish this to make sure it's enclosed. Now, so my line going back is a little bit off, and I don't love that, but can maybe change it just a tiny bit. Okay. Because you're doing this, you're kind of doing the best that you can with the tools that we have. If it ends up being that your shape is a little bit off, it's okay. I'm not going to be crazy about it. All right, so you need to have 5 boxes created, one completely above the horizon, one completely below the horizon, and then the other 3 can be whatever you want. So I'll do my one above the horizon. So I'm making sure that I'm back on my polyline tool. Put this here, start it here. So I always still start with my center line, just like we did for drawing. Aim to that point. Okay. And then I'm going to the left. And make sure you meet up so it's a solid shape. And now I'm going to do the bottom. So this corner is going to the right, about there. This corner is going to the left. And then I need to just finish that off. This won't work if you don't finish your shape. So make sure that every shape you make is enclosed, which means it has 4 sides. All right, so that's my floating shape. Now I'm going to go to my one that's below the horizon. Put that like right in the middle. Center, click. Okay, and that's not really correct. This line here is too straight, so I'm going to get rid of all that. Try it again. Okay, I'm happier with that. Now I'm going to do the left. All right, now I have to do the top. So this is going to go to the right. It's going to go to the left. All right, and now I need to fill in my next 2. So I'm going to do one large one. And I'll show you how to change your arrangement in case you decide to put something in the background. This will be kind of reminiscent of the big box that we did. All right, now I want this large shape to be behind the first one that I made. So I'm going to click on the sides. Make sure you click on the select tool. And I'm going to go to arrange, order, send to back. And then click on this side, arrange, order, send to back. And then the same thing with my horizon line. I'm going to click on the line, arrange, order, send to back. So now it looks like everything's, it looks correct in terms of the placement. All right, and I'm going to finish up my last box. Let's do a small one here. Okay. So once you have that completed, you're happy with your boxes drawn in, you can start to fill them in with color. So you want to decide on the color scheme that you're doing. I'm going to type mine here. So you can do warm, cool, analogous, or complementary. So I've done, I did a complementary sample. I did a cool. Did a cool sample, so I'll do an analogous one. I'm going to do yellow, yellow, green, and green. Okay, and I just type this on the side to remind myself. If you can do this, or you can just write it down, or if you know what you're doing, that's fine. But I'm just doing that here, for illustrative purposes. But you don't have, this is not required. All right, so I'm going to click on my first side of my shape. So I'm going to make this box yellow, and I'm going to go to the fill tool, and you should be using the gradient choices, and you can choose from the menu that's already there, but you really want to be creating your custom gradients because you're going to kind of blow through that menu pretty quickly, and it's going to get really boring. And I'd like you to use kind of like combination of colors like we've been doing in class for the actual artworks. So there's ways that you can change the gradient. You can have the gradient be linear and you can change the direction of that, or you can have the gradient be radial and, you know, changing where the lightest section is going to be. So I'm going to choose radial, have the light coming from like the left-hand corner. And I'm going to start with a bright yellow. And then I'm going to add a stop. So this will be kind of where the value change occurs. And choose another yellow. I'm going to go to this one and go there. All right, so you can see how this is going to play out on the shape. And then click OK, and it fills in your shape. All right, so you should be doing, you know, custom colors for each sides of your shape to really kind of bring some variety into your work. And if you want even more color choices, you can go to here. So I can kind of move this over to the yellow menu. Especially when you're doing something where you need like yellow green, this will give you, you know, lots of options to kind of choose your colors. If you want to use the tints and shades, the light and the dark version of your colors, that is fine too. All right, so I have my first yellow one done. I'll do a yellow green, and then I'll show you what to do for the background. I'll do a radial one this time, or sorry, linear one this time. You can change the angle. So I want yellow green, so I'm going to be kind of right in here. And you can see that when you go to doing your custom colors get saved for this particular project. So you can always kind of use those colors again, and your gradients also get saved. So if you wanted to use them again, you have them. Making a custom one. I'll do a green side. So as long as you're within your color scheme, yellow, you can have the sides of the boxes be different. You don't have to have the same, it doesn't necessarily have to be an all green box or an all yellow box. You can, I'm gonna add that color back in. Right, so you can have like your change occurring actually in the shape itself. All right, so I would finish up these boxes using my color options. So when it comes time, when you've completed all of your boxes, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to do the sky and the ground. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to take your polyline tool again. And I'm going to outline this whole sky section, including the horizon line. And if it ends up being a little bit off the space, that's okay. All right, now do not be worried that your shapes are covered up. I'm going to go to a gradient again. I'm going to customize this. And now because I want it to be this like kind of the background, I'm going to make this lighter than what I chose for the boxes.
Please excuse the interruption. Just a reminder that there will be a bake sale for the Spanish Club outside the cafeteria after school. Thank you.
I'm going to pick a light yellow. And for this, you could add, you can add as many stops as you want. You could kind of really do a lot with the sky and with the ground because it's going to be a very large space. And I'll add a yellow green in there. So you can see all the colors that I'm choosing are, really within my color scheme. Okay, so now that I have this completed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to that arrange tool. So arrange, order, send to back, and then it will be in the behind all of your shapes. So if I do the same thing for the ground, I'm not worried if it's going off my drawing space because that will get eliminated when I do my download. And I don't want the sky and the ground to be the same color. I want the ground actually to be darker. So I'm going to create a darker gradient for that. So I'm going to kind of stick with the dark green. Okay. And I actually think this looked better. Linear. And same thing, arrange, order, send to back. All right, so that is how you'll complete the midterm if you are at home. When you're finished, you're going to download it as a JPEG or a PNG. Oh, there we go. All right, and then you can save that, and then you can upload that to Jamboard. And you can either submit your Google Drawing, your actual Google Drawing, or you can submit the PNG to the Google Classroom post for the submission of your midterm.